So with the Pilates, a second there. Morning Marie, yes, it's a beautiful day, beautiful out there. It's really nice, the sunshine brightens you up. I think it just makes you feel better. Get some vitamin D, that's what we need. I had to go to have some blood tests done yesterday, and I said to the lady, we're going to end up with a nation of people with vitamin D defects because everyone's been inside so much. You need to get out there, especially in this weather. My son went out yesterday to the park and met his friends, which was lovely. Stayed out for ages actually. Anyway, so Pilates. We'll warm up a little bit, get a little bit ready to work, prepare the body, and then we come down to the floor. Every exercise we do, there'll be a different level, okay? So level 1 will be your base level, your easier option, and then we build it up gradually. It's important that you listen to the body and work through the levels, so you're not going to just skip a level and realise actually you've forgotten how to breathe properly or forgotten how to hold your core muscles in. So I'm just going to give everyone a moment just to get a drink and get yourselves ready. I just need to get a tissue and I'll be 2 secs. Sorry, I'm back. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, nice and upright. Push this under. Toes point forwards, shoulders down and relax. Make sure that you're central. So you're gently rocking side to side, forwards and backwards. It's a bit loud, isn't it? Sorry. Making sure you've got an even distribution of body weight across both of your feet. Don't feel lopsided, you don't feel like you're leaning. Holding that central point, you're going to tilt the pelvis forwards and backwards. We're finding the position where your back feels the most comfortable. It's that natural lordotic curve. Then we're going to find the core muscles, the pelvic floor, the muscle from within, the one you used to stop mid-flow. So imagine that muscle, and I want you to pull it up from within as if it's attached to a lift coming up to the top floor, floor 10, down to the 5th floor, down to the 3rd floor, and leave it there. So keeping it on level 3, hopefully you'll be able to maintain it. It's not too far that you have to keep letting go. You can just draw it up a little bit and keep it in place. Then imagine you've got a belt around your middle, 10 notches to the belt. Just got to put my Fitbit on. And then pull that belt in to notch number 10, as tight as it will go. So you're drawing into notch 10, really tight and uncomfortable, out to notch 5, out to notch 3, and leave it there. So what we've done is we've found around about 30% engagement of the core muscles. Holding from the core, you're going to breathe from the ribs, hands on the ribs, fingertips touch, take a deep breath in, open the ribs, and release. Deep breath in, open the ribs, and release. Relax the arms down, begin to pedal through your feet one side to the other. So please feel free to take a drink and rest at any time, okay? One way, then the other, then place the feet down, lift all the way up onto the toes, lengthen the body and release. Again, lift up, lengthen the body and release. One more time, you're going to lift and lengthen and release. We're going to take a nice big step forward with the left leg. You're going to lengthen the back leg, you're going to bring your body down as far as it will go, and then push back into the middle. Changing sides, lengthening your back leg. I'll just go side on so you can see how it is completely. Lengthening the back leg, flattening the front foot. Don't drop down through the back. Still got to keep that back lengthened. One more on each side. If you can't go all the way, just go as far as you can. Good. Once you finish those two, you're going to step out, reaching up and over, into the middle, lift up onto the toes. Step out, reach over, into the middle, lift up on the toes. I feel like a ballerina doing that. Good. Core muscles are engaged. Body is lengthened and upright. One more to each side. Lovely. Little lift in the middle. We'll be doing pliés in a minute. Good. No, we won't. No, we won't. Hold it in the centre. Good. Allow your hips to rotate one way and the other. Holding it in the middle. Bring the arms up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Rotate. Breathe in. Return. Breathe out. Rotate. Breathe in. Return. So your hips point forward. You're mobilising through the back, rotating through the waist. One more to each side, please. Last one here. Into the centre. Release the arms down. So I'm just going to step on the floor for this rather than my mat. Because my mat is spongy, I can't grip my toes. Take one foot forward, circle the leg round, lift the knee up and balance. Take the toe forward, circle the leg round, lift the knee up and balance. One more time, circle all the way round, lift up, balance, ankle one way and the other, and then place the foot down. Other leg comes forward, point the toe, circle round, lift the knee and balance. Toe forward, circle round, lift the knee and balance. Good, toe forward, circle round, hold it in the middle, ankle going one way and the other, and place the foot down. So standing towards the back of your mat then. You're going to breathe in, tuck the chin to your chest. Breathe out, begin to roll down through the back. Soften your knees, allow the arms to hang and relax. And then when you're ready, begin to roll up through the back. Rebuild the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach the top, relax the shoulders. Breathe in, chin to the chest. Breathe out, begin to roll down through your back. Soften your knees. Allow the arms to hang and relax like wet spaghetti. Then when you're ready, breathe in. Breathe out, begin to roll back up through the back. Rebuild the spine. As you reach the top, relax the shoulders. So we're going to roll down and we're going to come down to the floor this time. Tuck the chin in. Roll down through the back. Hands go down. Feet stay flat. Head is between the arms. We're going to breathe in, bring the knees down just above the floor. And then breathe out and push back. So we've got a little moving downward dog here. We're allowing those knees to come down towards the floor and then push back down. Any problems with that, you can always come to a cat stretch instead, okay? So choose which you can do. Lovely. So whichever one you've chosen, the downward dog or the cat, just do one more repetition and then come all the way down onto the hands and knees. Your back, nice and flat. Don't dip or arch that spine. Wrist, elbow, shoulder in line. Legs, your hips distance apart, okay? Breathe in. As you breathe out, push one leg back. As you breathe in, that leg comes back in. Other leg, breathe out, push it away. Breathe in, draw it back in. This is where we start to lose our socks. Push out as far as you can go and then draw it back in. Good. So if you wanted, go further, you lengthen and then you raise. No higher than the body. Breathe in, touch down and draw back in. Now when you lift that leg, you've got to make sure that the body remains central. We don't want to tilt and lean over. So that leg raise is there for your level 2. If you want level 3, slide the opposite arm out along the floor. You've got to have those toes touch the floor and then draw it back in. And your last option here, arm and leg are going to raise at the same time. Fingers and toes touch at the furthest points before you bring them in. Keeping that body central, head and neck in line with the spine, core muscles zipped up, pulled in nice and tight. Well done. Breathe out to lengthen and raise. Breathe in to lower and draw it back in. So I'm going to ask you please for one more. This is called swimming. It's for your core and your lumbar spine. One more on each leg, please. Once you've completed those 2, we're going to come down onto our forearms and elbows. Knees are down, but draw your pelvis up. Now we're going to add a hip drop, okay? So we're going to breathe in. As we breathe out, we're going to lower the hip to one side. You're going to breathe in, come to the middle. Breathe out, lower to the other side. Breathe in, come to the middle. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, return. Now if you want to go a little bit further, your knees are coming off the floor and you've got your little hip drop from there. So do the one that's most comfortable for you. I want you to challenge yourself but not injure yourself, okay? You're working through the core, through the back, working through the waist on that hip drop, the obliques. Knees are down at level 1, up at level 2. And I'm going to ask you for one more to each side, please. And then once you've completed those 2, I'd like you to bring yourself all the way up onto your knees. We're going to take the left leg out. You take your left leg out. Toes, knees in line with each other. It's like I'm at a kid's party today. And then this other hand comes down. So you've got a straight line, hand, knee, foot. Open the chest. We don't want it rolled forward. Open the chest, head and neck in line with the spine. You can always bring this hand to the temple. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lift. Now, if that is too much, then keep the leg down. Alright? If you can then, from here, breathe in. As you breathe out, kick forward. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, kick forward. Breathe in, return. Good. That leg is moving forwards and backwards. You've got that nice long line through the waist. You can always keep that leg down if you prefer. Just make sure it stays in line with your body. If you don't want to move it, you can just lift it held and still. I'm going to ask you please for 2 more. This is a kneeling side kick. Once you've done those 2, leg comes down, slide it under, release, and come back to leg pull. So down onto the forearms, knees down at level 1, knees are coming up at level 2. Now if you want level 3, making sure the wrists and elbows are underneath the shoulders, you can come all the way up onto the hands. But make sure the bottom isn't stuck in the air, and we don't want our back dipped or arched. Looking down at the floor, pull up through the belly button. On all those levels, central abdominal muscles, draw them up as if I'm pulling your belly button up through your back. And in your leg pull, I'm going to ask you please for 2 more breaths, and then you can allow those legs to lower, and you're going to bring yourself up, and we need to do the kneeling side kick on the other side. So the right leg will come out, the foot, the knee are in line, left hand comes down, open the chest, fingertips at the temple. So we have got a diagonal line coming from the underarm down to the toes. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you can lift. If you don't want to lift it, keep it down. Just hold and breathe. If you can, we're going to move it. Breathe in. Breathe out to kick. Breathe in to return. Breathe out to kick. Breathe in to return. Point those toes. Allow that leg to move away from your body. Got strange ladies looking in my window. Breathe out as you kick. Breathe in as you return. Good. If you don't want to move it, you can keep it lifted. And still, I've got cramp in my glute. All my days. I did a step class this morning, so I've got a little bit of cramp in there. Or just hold it still. Breathe out to kick. Breathe in to return. Keep that leg as straight as you can. Point those toes away. Breathe out, kick. Breathe in, return. I'm going to ask you, please, for 2 more here. Then if it's lifted, allow it to lower. Bring it back under. Good. So this time I want you to come back to your hands and knees. We're going to focus on one leg, okay? So breathe in, one leg pushes back and comes up. From here, breathe in, bend. Breathe out, lengthen. Keep it lifted. Breathe in, bend. Breathe out, lengthen. The knee stays up in line with the bottom. That little curling movement is going to work through the back of the thigh and through the bottom. So you've got your hamstring and your glutes. You've got your balance, so your core muscles are working. You can challenge yourself further by bringing that opposite arm out along the floor. We're going to do one more curl with this leg. Then you're going to allow it to lower, draw back in, and then other leg out. Bring the leg up first. Don't assume that you can move that hand because you might not be as strong on one side as you are the other. Breathe in, curl, breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in, curl, breathe out, lengthen. So, core muscles should be engaged. So you've got that tightening around the centre of the body. Body weight should be evenly spread, so we're not leaning to one side. We want to go further, we take the opposite arm out. We allow that movement to be controlled, and we move to the pace of our breathing. As we should be using full deep breaths, that movement should be slow and controlled. It shouldn't be a fast movement. I'm going to ask you please for 2 more here. Then you can allow that leg to lower and draw it back under. And we're going to come all the way down onto our front. We're going to allow our big toes to touch and our heels to drop out. We're going to work through the back, okay? Mobilise and strengthen. Arms come through, forehead down. Elbows in line with the shoulders, so you've got this E shape with the upper body. Breathe in. As you breathe out, you're peeling the chest up. As you breathe in, you lower. Gently lower, don't drop. I don't want no one breaking their nose. Breathe out as you peel up. Breathe in as you lower down. Now as you come up, you're drawing your belly button up, so don't let the belly button touch the mat. We're also trying not to squeeze and contract the bottom, okay? That stays relaxed. We're just mobilising through the back. Now if you want to go a little bit further, breathe out, come up, breathe in, hold, and then you can breathe out and come all the way up onto the hands, and then breathe in to lower, elbows go back down. Breathe out to lift, breathe in and hold. Breathe out to come further. Breathe in and lower. So it is up to you. You can do the extended one or the normal one, swan dive. We're lifting up on an exhale and we're lowering down on an inhale. Gently, with control. And one thing we're not doing is moving our neck. The neck stays still. You're peeling up through the back. Core muscles zipped up. Pull up that belly button. Breathe out to lift. And in your swan dive, I would like you please to complete one more repetition. Once you've completed that one, you're going to transfer onto your side. We're going to start with the legs bent, with yourself propped up on the forearm and elbow, and that's in a straight line. Don't have that arm too far away, okay? So you've got elbow, shoulder, then we've got our chest open, we've got our legs bent, our feet are together, and we've got our rib cage drawn up, okay? Good. Core muscles zipped up and engaged. Breathe in. As you breathe out, press the top leg back. As you breathe in, release. Breathe out, press the top leg back. So this is a lateral hip raise. This helps with any kind of sciatica, any lower back niggles there. Pulling up through the rib cage, we've then engaged our obliques. Our waist is working. Don't drop the head. Keep it in line. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to release. If you wanted to go further, then you're going to bring the hip up off the floor and work from here. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to release. Chest open. Rib cage drawn up. Breathe out to press. In to release. So your leg is like a door. And I'm just going to ask you please for one more repetition here. And then you can release, lower, and lengthen all the way out. So you're going to lengthen from one end to the other. You're going to point the fingers, point the toes. Head rest down on that arm. You're going to breathe in. As you breathe out, you raise your legs. So that body is in a nice line from the fingers down to the toes. This hand is there for your balance, guys, okay, to stop you from rolling too far forwards. Breathe in. As you breathe out, top leg comes up. As you breathe in, lower. Then we're going to move the bottom leg. Bottom leg kicks forward. Breathe in, return. My unit's in the way. Breathe out to lift. Breathe in to lower. Breathe out to kick. Breathe in to return. While one leg moves, that other leg must remain still, okay? Body remains in that nice long line. Point the toes. Hand is there for balance. You may not need it. You might be able to take it away. You might be able to take it all the way over. Just make sure you're not allowing those hips to roll forwards or backwards. We're breathing out to take the leg away from us. Breathing in to return it towards us. Core muscles zipped up, pulled in, and in place. Breathe out to raise. Breathe in to lower. Core muscles pulled up and in. And I'm going to ask you please for one more of each of those moves, working down the side leg, through the waist, also on the inner thigh. And then you're just going to hold those legs lifted and still. Okay? All I want you to do is try and lift them a little bit higher. Hand can be there for balance. Now if you've got your legs up and you can feel that contraction through the waist, well done. If you want to go a little bit further, slide up the shoulder. My head is stuck to my arm. My legs have now gone into spasm because my body's saying, Shelley, you're working too hard. Good. I'm going to ask you for 2 more breaths and then gently release everything down. And if you need to give that hip a rub, please do. Well done. When your body starts to jerk like that, starts to bounce, it is a sign of muscle fatigue, okay? So then we just rest and we join back in when we can. And then we come into our seated position, please. Lengthen the back, chin up off the chest. We're going to breathe in, tilt the pelvis under, bring the feet from the floor, toes touch, knees drop out. The back is lengthened, but we've got the tailbone tucked under. So we've got that C-shaped spine. Don't slouch at the top. Lengthen the back. Breathe in. As you breathe out, one leg comes out. Breathe in, return. breathe out, other leg goes out, breathe in, return. You want to go to the next level, both legs go together. Now this is called your open leg rocker, level 3. Roll back, legs open, and then as you come up, they come up, toes touch. Now if you're struggling, you can keep your toes in contact with the floor and just go from there. If you really need to, then you can use your hands there for a little bit of support, but don't push back into the arms. Try and make the core and the back keep you stable. So you've got that one leg option, the double leg option, or the actual rock as well. Breathe in, tilt, roll, breathe out, come back up. And as you come up, your feet are still off the floor. So in your open leg rocker, strength for the core, the lumbar spine, mobility through that back as well. I am going to ask you please at your level for one more. Once you've completed that, allow those feet to lower. Good. Chin up, arms down by your side. Now listen, breathe in, tilt the pelvis under and bring the chin to the chest. You're going to go back and you're going to reach a point of tension where your body says, I can't go any further. That's because the chin is tucked in. I want you to breathe out and lift one up. Breathe in, hand comes down. Breathe out, all the way back up, chin off the chest. Breathe in and tilt, chin to the chest. Breathe out, other arm comes up. Breathe in, goes down. Breathe out, roll up. Breathe in and tilt, chin to the chest. Next level is both arms go together. So this is your neck pull. We're lengthening and stretching through the back of the neck, okay, as we take the chin to the chest. If we did a roll up, okay, I wouldn't take my chin down and I'd be able to get all the way to the floor. But just that small movement of bringing the chin in, literally I am as far as I can go. So it just shows how your body reacts when there's just one small change. And you've got one arm or both arms coming up, core muscles zipped up, that back, mobilizing. I'm going to ask you for one more, please. If you're doing one arm at a time, then do one more with each arm. And once you've completed those, you're going to come all the way down onto the floor. Good. We're going to bend our legs, feet down, shuffle. Oh, I'm going to go slightly at an angle so I don't kick anything. Okay, shoulders down, relaxed. Neutral spine, so just get comfortable, make sure the back feels comfortable. Should be able to touch those fingers together under the small of the back, okay? Feet and knees are hips distance apart, core muscles are engaged. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring one leg up into a right angle position, okay? Knee above the hip, ankle in line with the knee. It is important that everything goes in the right place. If you're just going to have it like that, then you're not going to be working very well. You're not going to be working effectively. It's all about making sure the right position is in place, the core muscles have remained engaged, your neutral spine, your comfortable back is still in place, and our breathing is full and deep. Now this already is an exercise called the 100. You want to go further, you can bring up the upper body, chin off the chest, breathe in. As you breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in and hold. As you breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you wanted to go further, you could bring your other leg up. Make sure they're in line with each other. You could keep the body down or carry on with the pulse. Now, if you've only got one leg up, I would like you to do 2 more with that leg and then swap legs, okay? So once you've done your 2, that other leg comes up. The option, level 1, leg only. Level 2, add the pulse. Level 3, add the other leg. Level 4, legs go out diagonally. But mind that tummy does not dome upwards. It's all about technique. You've got to keep it in place. Think of your Pilates like a jigsaw. Breathing, neutral spine, core muscles, everything, yeah? You've got a piece for each, you're breathing, and those pieces all have to go together to get the full picture. Exactly what we need to do here. I'm going to ask you please, whatever level you're in, for 2 more breaths, 2 repetitions. If you've got your upper body raised, lower. If you've got both legs raised, take 1 foot back down. If you've only got 1 leg raised, swap legs. Okay? So we've all got 1 leg up. Breathe in. As you breathe out, lengthen the leg away. Don't wobble the other knee. Breathe in, bring it in, and then keep it bent. Breathe out, touch down. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, lengthen, 1 leg stretch. Breathe in, return to right angle, keep it bent. Breathe out, touch down. Breathe in, lift up. So we've got a 1 leg stretch, and then we're keeping the leg bent and coming into the scissor. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, lift. If you want to work harder, other leg can come up, but let's keep that leg still, please. So with this leg, I'm going to ask you for 1 more of each movement. Once you've completed those, that foot's going to come back down, other leg is going to come up. Deep, full breath in. As you breathe out, lengthen. As you breathe in, return. As you breathe out, lengthen. As you breathe in, return. Right angle. Breathe out, out. Breathe in. Sorry, now you've got a lower. Nearly forgot about the scissor. Good. So you've got this bent one. We mustn't drop the heel. You've got to maintain the right angle behind the knee. Breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in, return. Breathe out, lower. Breathe in, lift. All the time this other knee is nice and still. But if we're going to the next level, we're bringing that leg up. Breathe out to lengthen, in to return. Breathe out to lower, breathe in to lift. Core muscles are zipped up, pulled in and in place. Strengthening through the core, the lumbar spine. I'm going to ask you please, at whichever level you are at, for 1 more of each movement, control it with your breathing, don't rush it. And then once you've done those, feet come down. Please feel free to give yourself a nice long body stretch. And then you're going to transfer onto the other side. We start propped up, elbow underneath the shoulder, legs bent, feet together. Hoisting up the rib cage, you've got this open space under the body. Opening the chest, we don't want to be rolled over. Breathe in, as you breathe out, press the top leg back. As you breathe in, return. So your lateral hip raise. And then in this lifted position is your side bend. So we've combined the 2. If you want to go further, bring the hip up off the floor, but again, don't roll over. Breathe out to open, breathe in to return. Elbow, shoulder in line with each other. We've got the rib cage drawn up, that's working the waist. And then this lateral hip raise where we can release little trapped nerves. So if you suffer from sciatica, lovely. I had sciatica bad over the weekend. Oh my days, it was horrible. I've almost forgotten what it was like. Good, I'm going to ask you please for 1 more here. And then you're going to release and lower and lengthen out. Head is rest down on the arm. Legs are lengthened, fingers and toes, everything straight line. Hand is there for balance. You're going to breathe in, and as you breathe out, you're going to raise both legs without rolling forwards or backwards. That hand is there. Breathe in. As you breathe out, top leg comes up. Breathe in, it lowers. Bottom leg, breathe out, kick. return. Top leg, breathe out, lift, breathe in, lower. Bottom leg, breathe out, kick, breathe in, return. So one leg is moving, one leg is remaining still. That hand is there for balance, you may not need it. Only move within your range of movement. There's no sort of competition about how far these movements have to go. If you're kicking and the leg and the body begins to roll, then you're going too far. So literally just working to where you can. And I'm going to ask you please for one more of each movement. And when you've completed those two, I just want you to stay with your legs raised and hold. Core muscles in place. Lift those legs another inch or two. Work right into the side of the body. If you can, slide the shoulder up, your head stays stuck to the arm. Breathe and hold. Right into the waist. I'm going to ask you please, let's start sweating now because it's hard work. For 2 more breaths, when you've completed your 2, gently allow yourself to lower, and then by all means give that little rub if you need to. Well done. From here guys, that's all the exercises done. You're going to carefully bring yourself round into this box position. Back is nice and flat, nice and neutral, core muscles are in place. Let's just round the back into a cat stretch and release. Round the spine into cat stretch and release. Good. So push your hands back towards your knees, curl your toes under, and you're coming into this crouched position. If you need to hold on to something, that's absolutely fine. You're going to place your feet flat, and then you are gradually, slowly going to begin rolling up through the back, rebuilding the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, all the way to the top. Relax the shoulders down. Chin up off the chest, shoulders down and relax. Lengthen the spine, hips face forward, knees, toes all forwards. Make sure you're balanced, you're not lopsided or leaning. Good. Lifting up onto the toes. Balance and release. Try and keep your core muscles engaged as much of the day as you can, and keep that neutral spine in place. Lift up onto the toes and really just test yourself by closing your eyes. Are you as balanced as you thought? And release. Well done. And that is your Pilates for this afternoon. Tomorrow morning Pilates at 10 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed that, Marie. I think it's always nice once the sun is shining. It does make you feel so much better, doesn't it? My husband's just come back. He's been at the tip. We've cleared the garden. We've done our pond. We've been waiting to do our pond for a long time, and we finally managed to. We safely got all the newts out. And then we've managed to change the lining and redo it. Now we've just got to do a little bit of brickwork and then it's all done. But when we went down to the pond yesterday, the newts were loving it. They were laying in the sun. There's a big frog in there as well, but we love our wildlife in our garden. So we've had a fox as well, which is lovely, and I keep feeding him, which is really naughty, but I love it. Take care, have a lovely afternoon. Back tomorrow at 10 with Pilates. We are back this afternoon at 4 with legs, bumps and tums if you fancy that one. Thank you for joining me. Take care. See you soon.